Deep inside the shadowed halls of 17th century Spain, there lived an artist unlike any other. He walked among kings, dwarfs, and the secrets of a vast empire. With every stroke, he didn't just paint faces, he captured souls. His name was Diego Velázquez, and he would change the history of art forever. Fact 1. The birth of a genius. Diego Rodríguez de Silva y Velázquez was born on June 6, 1599, in Seville, a city that was then the beating heart of the Spanish Empire. Seville wasn't just any ordinary city, it was the richest port in Europe, where ships from the New World arrived carrying gold, silver, exotic animals, and stories from faraway worlds. Velázquez was born into a respectable but modest family of Portuguese descent. His father, João Rodrigues de Silva, worked as a notary, while his mother, Jerónima Velázquez, came from a family with artistic connections. From the moment he could hold a pencil, young Diego showed an unusual sensitivity to light, faces, and details. Seville's streets were alive with merchants shouting, musicians playing, travelers from Africa and the Americas, and Catholic processions with torches lighting the night. Growing up in this vibrant chaos, Diego's eyes absorbed everything. The wrinkles of old sailors, the color of market fruits, the spark of emotions on people's faces. By the age of 10, people already whispered that the boy had a strange gift. He didn't just see the world. He studied it, measured it, captured it. This extraordinary childhood, filled with culture, color, and contrast, was the perfect cradle for a genius who would one day redefine realism forever. Fact 2. The master who discovered him as a young boy, Diego Velázquez, showed a talent too powerful to ignore. He drew on anything he could find: paper, wood, even the dusty floor of his home. His parents quickly realized this was not an ordinary child. His eyes captured details most adults never noticed. So at just 11 years old, they took him to the most respected art master in Seville, Francisco Pacheco. Pacheco wasn't just a painter, he was the official artistic inspector for the Inquisition, a teacher of philosophy, iconography, anatomy, and one of the most knowledgeable men in the city. When he met Diego for the first time, he paused and said only one sentence: "This boy sees the world differently." Inside Pacheco's workshop, Diego entered an entirely new universe. He learned perspective, the secrets of shadow and light, the structure of the human body, and the rules of religious painting. But more importantly, he learned discipline, long hours, repeated exercises, and the responsibility of capturing truth with a brush. Within just a few years, Diego began to surprise even his master. His realism was so intense, so raw, that Pacheco admitted, "He does not paint what he sees, he paints truth itself." During this period, Velázquez also roamed the streets of Seville, sketching ordinary people: bakers, servants, beggars, children. At a time when realism was considered too simple for great art, Diego broke the rules and painted life exactly as it was. These early years under Pacheco didn't just train Velázquez. They formed the foundation of a genius, and Pacheco became the first man to recognize what the world would one day celebrate. Fact 3. His first masterpieces shocked the art world. As a teenager, Velázquez began painting works that no one in Spain had ever seen before. He ignored the traditional, perfect beauty style of the Renaissance and instead filled his canvases with raw, honest, unfiltered reality. His early masterpieces, especially The Water Cellar of Seville, Old Woman Frying Eggs, and The Lunch, were shocking for one simple reason: he made ordinary people look monumental. In a time when great art was reserved for kings, saints, and myths, Velázquez painted a water cellar with the dignity of an emperor. He painted an old woman with the same care as a queen. His characters had wrinkles, flaws, tired eyes, yet they looked alive, powerful, and unforgettable. People in Seville whispered that Diego had discovered a new kind of magic, the magic of making the simple extraordinary. What amazed everyone even more was his technique. The texture of the water jug, the shine of a glass cup, the smoke rising from fried eggs. They were so realistic that viewers felt they could reach out and touch them. Many believed he painted not with colors, but with light itself. These early works announced one truth to Spain: a young genius had arrived, and his realism was about to change the history of art forever. Fact 4. Entering the royal court. By the age of 24, Velázquez had already gained a reputation as Seville's most talented young painter. His early masterpieces had traveled by word of mouth, reaching the ears of King Philip IV of Spain. The king, seeking someone who could capture the grandeur and reality of his court, summoned the young artist. Velázquez entered the royal palace for the first time, a place filled with gold, velvet tapestries, and whispers of intrigue. The courtiers were skeptical. After all, he was just a boy. But with a single brushstroke during his first royal commission, he silenced them all. King Philip IV was captivated not just by Diego's skill, but by his ability to see truth in everyone, from the nobles to the servants. Velázquez had a unique talent. He could make every subject look noble, alive, and unforgettable, regardless of their social rank. Soon, Velázquez was appointed official painter of the king, a position that allowed him to roam the palace freely, observe life in all its forms, and immortalize it on canvas. From this moment, the young Sevillian painter became not just an artist, but a chronicler of royal and human life, forever shaping the image of Spain's golden age. Fact 5. Las Meninas, a masterpiece that changed everything. In 1656, Diego Velázquez completed what many consider his greatest masterpiece, Las Meninas. At first glance, it appears to be a simple portrait of Infanta Margarita and her maids of honor, but the painting is far more than that. Every detail, the mirror reflecting King Philip IV and Queen Mariana, the perspective, the light falling across the room, creates a complex, almost cinematic scene. Velázquez placed himself in the painting, brush in hand, looking outward as if he were both inside and outside the royal world. This bold move challenged traditional ideas of portraiture and reality itself. Critics and viewers were stunned. A painting could tell a story, question perception, and capture truth all at once. Las Meninas isn't just a royal portrait, it's a masterclass in observation, technique, and human psychology. Through it, Velázquez showed the world that art could be both a reflection and a mirror of life, forever influencing generations of painters to come. Fact 6. Master of light and shadow. One of Velázquez's greatest strengths was his unmatched control of light and shadow. He didn't simply illuminate his subjects, he sculpted them with light, creating depth, texture, and a lifelike presence that seemed to leap off the canvas. In paintings like the Rokeby Venus and Old Woman Frying Eggs, every glint of reflection, every subtle shadow is deliberate. He understood that light could convey emotion, focus, and even narrative. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Velázquez never relied on exaggerated colors or decorative flourishes. Instead, he let natural light dictate the mood, making the ordinary appear extraordinary. This mastery gave his works a timeless realism. Viewers centuries later can still feel the warmth of the sun, the glow of a candle, or the cool shade in his compositions. Through light and shadow, Velázquez transformed painting from mere representation into a living experience. Fact 7. His faith and its influence on art. Diego Velázquez grew up in deeply Catholic Spain, where faith shaped every aspect of daily life. Religious rituals, processions, and the grandeur of churches surrounded him from childhood, leaving a lasting mark on his worldview and artistic vision. Although Velázquez was a devout Catholic, his approach to religious subjects was remarkably human and realistic. Instead of idealized saints or exaggerated miracles, he painted religious figures with naturalism, emotion, and subtle dignity. Masterpieces like Christ Crucified and the Coronation of the Virgin reflect his ability to balance spiritual reverence with lifelike authenticity. He made divinity relatable yet awe-inspiring, bridging heaven and human experience on the canvas. Velázquez's faith wasn't just belief, it was a lens through which he observed and interpreted life, blending devotion, humanity, and artistic genius into every stroke. Fact 8. The Court Painter and the Secret Observer. As the official painter of King Philip IV, Velázquez held a position of immense trust and privilege. But his role was more than just creating portraits. He became a keen observer of court life, politics, and human behavior. He moved freely through the palace, witnessing secret meetings, intrigues, and the subtle dynamics between nobles. His art captured not just appearances, but character, emotion, and hierarchy, often revealing truths that others overlooked. Some historians even suggest that Velázquez acted as a quiet diplomat, carrying messages or observing foreign dignitaries during official ceremonies. His paintings subtly recorded the power, tension, and humanity of the Spanish court. Through this dual role, artist and observer, Velázquez turned his brush into a lens on history, documenting a world of privilege, secrecy, and the fragile nature of power. Fact 9. His death and lasting legacy. Diego Velázquez passed away on August 6, 1660, in Madrid, leaving behind a world forever changed by his vision. At the time of his death, he was respected by the king and court, but the full magnitude of his genius would only be recognized later. His approach to realism, human emotion, and subtle storytelling influenced countless artists across Europe, from Goya and Manet to Picasso and Dalí. Even centuries later, painters studied his technique, use of light, and composition, seeking to capture the same balance of truth and beauty. Velázquez's legacy is not just in his paintings, but in the way he taught the world to see, to notice the dignity in ordinary people, the complexity in a glance, and the extraordinary within the ordinary. He didn't merely paint history, he immortalized humanity itself. Fact 10. His influence and enduring significance. Diego Velázquez's influence stretches far beyond 17th century Spain. His innovations in realism, portraiture, and composition laid the groundwork for generations of painters, from Goya and Manet to Picasso, Dalí, and even modern artists today. Velázquez taught the art world that painting could be more than decoration. It could reveal truth, emotion, and the complexity of human life. His masterpieces continue to be studied in art schools, analyzed by historians, and admired by millions of museum visitors around the globe. Even now, over 400 years later, his work challenges viewers to look closer, see deeper, and appreciate the extraordinary in the everyday. Velázquez didn't just leave paintings. He left a vision of humanity immortalized in art. Diego Velázquez was not just a painter. He was a master of light and shadow, a secret observer of court life, and a genius of realism. With his brush, ordinary people became monumental, and the world of the palace was immortalized in every stroke. Every detail, a glance, a wrinkle, the play of light and shadow, reflected his unique vision of the world. Las Meninas is more than a portrait, it is a mirror of life itself. Velázquez showed us that art can capture not only appearances, but truth, human emotion, and the very essence of time. His works continue to amaze, revealing the secrets of history and the depth of human experience centuries later. His life and art teach us that when observation meets skill and dedication, even the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Every figure he painted carries both humanity and eternity. If you want to discover the world's greatest geniuses, their stories, the secrets of art, and new ways to see the world, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay with us. More mysterious, fascinating, and inspiring stories are waiting for you. Remember, every brushstroke tells a story, and Velázquez's story will never end.